And we're right into it for Avros Northern Bears to end things off. Northern Bears hailing from Prince Albert in Saskatchewan, and for the Winnipeg Avros hailing from Winnipeg, Manitoba. It's MFHL meeting SFHL. It's a team from one of the provinces in the prairies meeting another province from the prairies here in Western Canada, as the 2025 Central Plains Capital Showcase continues here on gshowproductions.uscreen.io. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, ladies and gentlemen, anyone else who may be watching. We've had, well, our busiest day ever as a network. Not used to as many games as we've done today, but hey, we're here on the final one of day one out of this 3-day showcase. The Prince Albert Northern Bears and Winnipeg Avros, their first game of this weekend showcase to end things off here on day number one. As we're also brought to you by Terraco Fasteners and Tools, sorry. Scratch that. Brought to you by Terraco Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, as well as Movement, Fitness, and Performance, and Elite Prospects, as number 29 for the Winnipeg Avros. That's Anya Cohenhowen. We'll get a name correction as the weekend goes on. So we are officially live now on the gshowproductions.uscreen.io service, as it's the Winnipeg Avros who dump this in deep. Sent down, and it'll be number 31 in net tonight for the Prince Albert Northern Bears, and Maggie Schell. As sure, all goaltenders on these rosters this weekend will end up getting some playing time, as that's what this this showcase is really all about, is getting those final reps in as a team before the regular season starts. And truly, Icewave Media made this point today, one of the top photographer companies, I'd say the top photography company in amateur hockey right now, amateur sports in Manitoba, the U22 level. But they made an interesting point and couldn't agree with it more, because it is factual. Central Plains Capital Showcase usually always happens the week or weekend before. And there we go, a goal to start things off. It's the Winnipeg Avros who get the scoring started, as Brea Kapusta, number 9 for this year's Avros squad, roofs her first of the night, first of the showcase, and gets the Avros on the board first here against PA. The Northern Bears from Prince Albert, as that goal brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Be sure to check them out at 995 Miltseagull Drive, their only store location that exists, as well as on their website at cancentralsportscards.com. As for the Avros, good puck movement and a nice finish on that goal and leading to it. As it's Adeline Nolgren, recent commit, university commit, that is. I'll tell you in just a moment to where, but a dangerous shot to start things off. Top 5 in the MFHL last season in points. A former Eastman Select as well from 2023-2024, as she heads into another year in the league. Physical play near the Avros bench. It's the Northern Bears who gain the zone still and send this down deep. into the direction of number 11, Shelby Boy. Sorry, that's number 12. Number 11 is Jersey Anderson. This is number 16, I believe, giving chase, and Adson Wallen. As the battle continues along the wall, Leah Hildebrandt in to help, gets that to the point. That shot wide of the net, occupied by Cowan Hohen. As the Avros get possession of this puck and carry it out, it's Collins who sends it in deep in the direction of Kelsey Dinez. Dinez gives chase on number 20 in Janice Simonson. As this rims around to Olivia Tran. Tran gets met there by number 3 in Beatty. As Emily Beatty and Dinez battle along the boards, trying to get that puck loose, but it's Janice Simonson who still has it. Into the skates now of number 22 and Gracie Reed, as Reed dumps that into the Avro zone, giving chase on it, her teammate in Emma Christensen. It's onto the stick of Dinez and right out for this Avros group. As it'll be just cut off there at the line. It was Dinez getting in the way of Aiden Konechny as she tried to make her way through. Puck played up. Simonson drops this back into her own end, where it'll be Shelby Boy who reverses this to a teammate. Now played up to Christensen, onto the tape of number 6 and Olivia Tran, who dumps it in deep and goes off for a change. It'll be the Avros in their own end with a bit of time. Claire Fraser, she tries to send that to a teammate but gets picked off. For this Avros side now, this year's captain, Adeline Nolgren, threads that up to Kapusta. Is this all the way in to the Northern Bears zone? Trying to chip it out was Clarkson, but unable to as the Avros hold the line. Adeline Nolgren and her line mate, number 13 in Roy Fulster, go off for a change. Here's a chance for the Northern Bears, but denied by the Avros defense as Kapusta sends this all the way down into the Northern Bears zone. The Northern Bears looking to attack quickly. That pass intended for number 11 in Anderson didn't get to her. Callie Lavely, rookie last year in the MFHL, played that down low, played out in front, but pass not there for an intended Avro. Callie Lavely on her forehand now tries to send that towards the net. To the slot it gets, is whacking away at it. A few Avros, but cleared away by the Northern Bears. That line not able to be held as Lexington Green wears number 7 for the Avros this season. And yeah, for Ashley Van Egelen and her group, a coach that heads into her 15th season of coaching in the MFHL, this Avros team specifically. A bit of turnover from last year's roster, players aging out and whatnot. Of course, Rio Pierre making the decision to go play hockey in Ontario for Kingston this year. But still a really solid team for the Winnipeg Avros, and sure to be one of the contenders this year to take home the MFHL championship. This Avros team, as a program in terms of win-wise, that's the only thing they're really searching for. But year in and year out, this is a team that turns out tremendous talent that ends up developing over the years and ends up making it to a university program. It's like Adeline Nolgren most recently making a commitment, now in her 2nd year with this Winnipeg Avros squad. But it'll be the Northern Bears who control this in their own end as Reed fires this cross ice to Christensen. Christensen trying to go one-on-one with number 13 and Fulster, but Fulster shuts her down well onto the stick of Reed. Takes a shot, that off a stick, into the netting, out of play. As we get a stoppage with 11:55 remaining in this first period of action. 1-0 in favor of the Avros. It was Kapusta puts her team on the board. Start things off here this Friday night. Our conclusion of day one at the 2025 Central Plains Capitals Showcase. Day one of 3 in total. So tomorrow we're going to bring you even more games. I believe it'll be 6 instead of 5. We wrap up with 3 on Sunday. As the Northern Bears look to play this up. It's on the stick of Clarkson. Clarkson trying to make her way past, but unable to. It's number 19. Now it's Nolgren heading into the Bears zone as she gets contested a bit there along the boards. Ends up turning it over as she tried to feed it to the high slot. Is this all the way down for an icing? For the Northern Bears that are coached by the head coach, Steve Young. Assistant coaches are Scott Reed, Shelley McDonald, Brooklyn Rubley, and Colton Smith. Managers are Candace and Jody Dawson. As for the Avros staff, Ashley Van Eglen, head coach as mentioned. Brooke Anderson is an assistant, as well as Terry Patrick, who I believe helps out with the goaltenders too, and Alicia Cowieson is the GM for this year's Avros squad. So we'll be getting another face-off down in the Northern Bears' end. They lead in shots 4-3, but not on the scoreboard. As last year's MFHL finalists, up 1-0 thanks to newcomer number 9, Brea Kabusta. Draw 1 by the Avros, trying to get possession of this back to the point. Leah Clausen, that is, as Robin Clausen is also on this team, not able to hold it in. That shot on net as it's covered up, but played out right away by Cohenhowen. As Hildebrand settles this down for the Northern Bears, plays this back to a defenseman, PA, looking to go and get off to the races, but the Avros shut that down, ends up into the bench. That loose puck as we get a stoppage in play, 10:28 remaining. Thank you so much for choosing G-Show Productions on this Friday night for your entertainment 2025 Central Plains Capitals Showcase. Been very entertaining to start things off on day one. End off with another entertaining matchup. Could very well see another one here to end things off on day one. We'll get you the scores during the intermission, the first intermission, as the Avros look to break this up. Dinez, her cross-ice pass to number 21 in Seawalk, unable to connect, as Hildebrand loses possession of that puck. Played in by Nev Cockrell, as the Avros maintain possession. Dinez steps back into her own end, but now back in the neutral zone. Fires it past Robin Clausen. That shot blocked on the way through. Getting in the lane was Addison Davidge. Is down low. I believe that's Andy Marshall who sends a pass up. And it is to Konechny. She has that poked at the line. Nice play by number 10. And Claire Fraser for the Avros, as that creates an offside afterwards. 1-0 the score for the Winnipeg Avros. This first period brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, as Adeline Nolgren, Captain Avro this year, wins this back. It's past the red line. Beatty sends this in deep. Nolgren giving chase. Avros trying to force a turnover. PA almost paying the price there around their own net as the Avros hold this in. That shot from Fraser wide of the net. So it was from range. Now it'll be the Northern Bears coming down. It's Clausen going one-on-one with Beatty. Beatty, good defense, had support with her too, as Fraser, the last line of defense behind the Avros net. Now the Northern Bears play towards the net, but covered up by number 29 in Anya Cohenhowen. 2010 born goaltender. Get to see her for the first time on the network here in an Avros jersey. She'll be backing up one of the most talented goaltenders in the MFHL. Well, that may not necessarily be correct. I know usually Ashley Van Agelen loves to split her goaltenders as much as possible. That's usually been the tradition, but in the playoffs, it was Adriana Almeida's net. As for Anya Cohenhowen, looking to play that part well this year in terms of just holding down the fort when Adriana Almeida gets an off night, right? And so far, with 6 shots faced, Cohenhowen has looked really comfortable in this game against the Prince Albert Northern Bears from the Saskatchewan Female U18 AAA Hockey League. Shot from the high slot, hits a stick, goes off the backboards and into the glove of Cohenhowen. As another face-off, just to the glove hand side of Cohenhowen, is down low and played up. Robin Clausen shields this with the backhand. Her pass just off the mark for Kelsey Dinez. As Dinez pressures number 20 in the corner there, and Jana Simonson gets that loose puck to Leah Hildebrandt. As Hildebrandt helps get this to Clarkson as the Northern Bears try to break this out. But once again, met by the Avros just near the red line. The Northern Bears half of it, but fast forward down below, it's the Northern Bears who force a turnover off the forecheck, and that's turned aside. Good defensive play by number 15 in Jenna Turner. Returning on the Avros decor this season as nice maneuverability, a little tight turn behind her net. Shelby Boye. As for Boye, reverses this into the direction of Christensen. Clarkson also there. This not to be for the Northern Bears. Unable to get it out. Beatty sent that in. Fraser also to help, but Fraser gets knocked off the puck. It's Beatty who drops this back. Sorry, that's Fraser, number 10. Foster is number 13 for this Avros side. Speaking of Foster, trying to pick the pocket of a Northern Bears player along the boards there, but Boye just strong enough on her stick to withstand that. Foster continues on the pressure. Now Kapusta joins the attack down low. Kapusta got that shot on net from behind with the backhand. Turned aside by Shell as Kapusta back on it, trying to shield this away from the Northern Bears defense, but great effort by Reed to take that away from Kapusta and allow for PA to have some breathing room a bit. As they go off for a change, fresh legs out onto the ice with just over 5 minutes or just under 6 minutes remaining in this period. A shot that rose high of the net there for the Avros. As for Prince Albert, trying to withstand the pressure here. Only 3 shots for Winnipeg, but they've all been high quality. Most of them, at least, out of the 3. The goal by Kapusta roofed it past Shell. That was earlier on in this period. Since then, Avros have been searching to try to extend the lead. PA been searching to answer back. Into the slot, beautiful pass, but an even better save by Shell. No, never mind, just kidding, that's in the back of the net. It's a bit of commotion in front. Confusion from Prince Albert. And their goaltender in Shell. She was arguing, I'm not sure what, maybe interference, maybe she felt something else was a bit off there, but it is what it is for Prince Albert. As for the Avros, what it's been for them is a 2-0 lead in this first period with 5:10 remaining. That goal brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. 4th shot of the game. 2nd goal of the game for the Avros. 10 shots in total in this one so far. It's at 6-4 Northern Bears in front. But down on the scoreboard in front of the shot totals, that is. Oh, a funny spill into the boards there. An awkward one from number 6 and Olivia Tran as Tran tries to put the pressure on the Avros defense now as Collins battles with Tran. The two number 6s going against each other. This is played up to Clausen. Clausen looks to roam, build up some speed heading into the PA zone. Gets that pass across to number 21 in the slot in Seawalk, but wasn't meant to be to connect on 21's stick. As Seawalk continues to pressure down low on number 4 in Addison Davidge. Played up now for the Northern Bears. This off a stick and into the Avro zone is Jenna Turner. First one on it. Fired it off the boards quickly, but sent right back in. So that was intercepted. Turner sends it to the left side for Dinez. Dinez played up to Nolgren. Nolgren cuts to the middle, sends this cross ice to Kapusta. Kapusta tries to dangle in. Good defense there to start off from PA. Clement on defense. Nolgren, beautiful feed, but fanning on that shot was Foster. The captain for the Avros setting up 13 well as they look to get a cycle going, but Northern Bears cut this off, and they turn up the other end of the ice. Is that shot contested on well by the Avros defense. Number 3 in Nev Cockrell getting a stick in the lane. As PA continues to work. Number 16, Adson Wallen. So I believe she goes off for a change. Is played up onto the stick of Tran. Cuts back, tries to fire that to the slot, but unable to. It's the Avros who make headway the other way as it's Callie Lavalley. A 1-on-3, still holding on to the puck. Lavalley, not the most on that shot as it's turned aside by Shell. The Avros get possession of it back. 2:50 remaining in this period of action. Brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Beatty sends this in deep just before the blue line. Shell out of her own net to play it, leaves it for Simonson. Simonson almost trouble, but able to evade the pressure with that pass as Clarkson sends this cross ice off of the stick. Number 10 in Fraser is carried out. But back the other way, Prince Albert, but an offside will be called. Apologies. For some reason, I don't know if it's just because it's been a long day or their names are, for whatever reason, a bit harder to read. But yeah, these two teams, their jerseys, their numbers confusing me a bit right now, and it's a lot of names that start with the same letter, but we'll manage and get through it. As for the Prince Albert Northern Bears, looking to get through this, and they'll have a chance to get a bit of help here. They'll have an extra attacker on because they're going to the power play. Brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. For the first time we get to see this Avros penalty kill. Usually been among one of the team's top strengths year in and year out. As that fanned on, trying to take a big whack at it, was Jersey Anderson. But not to be, up to the point. That shot through to the net, but off a body, so ends up going wide. Jersey Anderson up to the point. That shot low, Cowan-Howen, another save with the toe, that time getting the left pad out on that rebound chance. That overshot, another block by the Avros as they continue to get in lanes. As the Avros looking to send this out now. Line unable to be held by Jersey Anderson as this sends the Northern Bears back into their own zone to regroup. Addison Davidge will be the one who holds the puck behind the net, surveys her options as that pass off the mark for Marshall went right off of her skate. It allows for Clausen to pick this up. It's Robin Clausen trying to wheel below the goal line to try to find some space for herself to work, but cut off wall by the Northern Bears. They had numbers, so they look to have numbers breaking up. The Avros matching them pretty well so far. Currently a 2-on-4 as the rest of the PA attack joins, but is a bit too late with 36 seconds remaining on this girl advantage. Clement, cross ice feed into the slot, scores! A shot that fools Cohen-Howen. And for the Prince Albert Northern Bears, a late period marker gets them within one of the Avros here in the dying seconds of this period. Goal brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. And for the Northern Bears, if you're able to do this against the Avros, you're doing something well, able to enter into the zone effectively and efficiently. Nice little stop up, some patience there for a pass gets sent into the slot. And not the nicest finish, but I want to ask you how. They ask you how many. As it's number 16, Adson Wallen, who gets the goal to get the Northern Bears within one of the Winnipeg Avros as this first period comes to a close. With Winnipeg, I'd say, really good goaltending from them in that first period for the most part. Dangerous off the rush. And doing a pretty good job of just getting in the way, making Prince Albert frustrated, no easy wins to the puck or in those puck battles, right? So I think that's been really good. I think that goal, as nice of a setup as it was for the Prince Albert Northern Bears, a bit of a lapse in coverage from the Avros, and PA made them pay. Shot that was on the ice through the 5-hole of Cohen-Howen. We'll see if the Northern Bears continue to go to that spot as they outshot the Avros 8-5 during that period, but are the ones that trail 2-1. We're going to send it to a promo screen, and then we'll be back for, some analysis from that first period, how this one's been going so far, as well as but broadcasting the second period of action. It's been a long day, but we're still really happy to be here, of course. Can't wait to conclude this one for the next 40 minutes. We got the next 20 coming up. For the Northern Bears, they just cut into the Avros lead. We'll see how they continue to play it as this game rolls along. And we're brought to you by Terrico, Movement, Fitness, and Performance, Elite Prospects, as well as Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Thank you to them for continuing to sponsor us and support us here on gshowproductions.uscreen.io. We'll be back for more after we send it to a promo screen in these messages.
Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia offers the widest selection of sports cards and signed memorabilia in the city. For dedicated casual and new collectors, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia has everything a collector could ask for. Everything we sell is stored with care, and with help from our knowledgeable team, we'll help you find exactly what you're looking for. We carry Upper Deck hockey card brands like Series 1 and 2, The Cup, Ultimate, SPA, and plenty more. So what are you waiting for? Come down to Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store.
And welcome back in, Winnipeg Avros, Prince Albert Northern Bears, and any other fans that are tuning into this edition of G-Show Game Day as we wrap up day one of our weekend coverage here for the 2025 Central Plains Capitals Showcase, with the Winnipeg Avros taking on the Prince Albert Northern Bears. Score 2-1 in favor of the Avros after the first 20 minutes of play. Prince Albert capitalizing on a late chance on the power play in that period in the dying seconds to cut the lead in half. As the first period was brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Be sure to check them out today, or not today because they're closed, but at any point you're in Winnipeg, their store locations 995 Miltsteagall Drive. You can also check out their website at cancentralsportscards.com. We're going to get into day one in general a bit more coming up after this game. Quick little recap coming up for you all. But yeah, 4 games are in the books already. I guess 5 at this point, since the Ice ended up battling against the Weyburn Gold Wings. Not sure who ended up winning that one, but started off with an exciting opener in this tournament. Central Plains led Interlake 1-0 to start off that game, but then Interlake would score 2 unanswered and would hold on to win 2-1. The Westman Wildcats, it was the Ivy Perkins show. Looked really good. Jaden Holmsen, number 17, had a hat trick in the 6-2 victory over the Chiefs. This one, maybe a bit of a shocker, but I think Pembina Valley just put a lot of teams on notice, even though this is a preseason showcase. A 3-1 victory against the defending MFA champion Eastman Selects. They scored 3 unanswered in that game, and what a performance from Madison Freeze, who faced 44 shots in that contest. And, well, probably the most entertaining finish to any of the games we've had was Central Plains Capitals and Pilot Mountain Buffaloes. Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy, that is. Central Plains led 3-1, but not so fast, said the Buffaloes, as they scored 2 unanswered in that third period. Flipped the game, flipped the score, and ended up tying the host Capitals 3-3. As they started off their weekend with a bang for us. Ending things off, of course, with the Winnipeg Avros taking on the Prince Albert Northern Bears. First goal scorer for the Avros tonight was number 9, Brea Capusta. Forget off the top of my head who scored the second goal for the Avros, but yeah, goal scorer for PA ended up being Aitson Wallen. Shots 8-5 in favor of Prince Albert as well. A lot of quality on net tonight for this Winnipeg Avros squad. Speaking of the Avros, they'll be featured in the first game tomorrow between the Interlake Lightning and the Winnipeg Avros at 8:15 a.m. an early one. Can't wait to bring that coverage to you. Anthony Bailey's going to have the call for that game. So we got day 2 rolling before we know it. But as for this one, we'll show you our sponsors in the bottom left corner. Second period brought to you by Movement, Fitness, and Performance, an independent local Winnipeg gym located at 1111 Winnipeg Avenue in Building 3, as well as Elite Prospects. As we are off for period number 2 here from Portage La Prairie, Manitoba at Stride Place Arena. I'm your host and play-by-play commentator. It's been your play-by-play commentator for 3 of the matchups today. Graham the G-Show Forsyth been your host for most of it as well. As this rimmed around the Avros boards. The Avros get possession of it. Collins feeds a D-to-D pass to Leah Clausen, who misses number 13 in Foster with that pass up. His first one on it will be Davidge. Just gets that to Clarkson. Clarkson tried to work it back to Davidge. Davidge goes off of Marshall. Blocked by her own teammate trying to clear that out as it's Kapusta gets it to the high slot. That shot turned aside. Number 2 in Brooke Freeze with the chance on net there. And Freeze, of course, a forward on this Avro squad. Here goes P.A. Anderson. Can't quite make a clean move in tight on Cowanhowen. She tried to deke forehand, backhand, but that not to be for Jersey. Anderson, number 11, turned over, wraparound chance in tight. The Avros trying to whack away at it. Callie Lavalley couldn't pull the trigger in the slot there. As this period opening up with a lot of pace. A lot of near goals too, as Jenna Turner goes for a skate. She loses an edge, but still almost feeds that puck through to Lavalley. Turned over as the Northern Bears make their way up ice. It'll be fed off to Konechny. Konechny cuts to the inside. This puck almost to the net, but cleared away by the Avros just before it got there. The Northern Bears, like we saw in the first period, putting up some good pressure on this Avros team. So that gets away from Olivia Tran. The Avros with a bit of room to work at Lavalley. Nice pass connected on to Seawalk. Seawalk trying to cut in, but cut off there by a few Northern Bears players off the boards. This intercepted onto the stick of Fraser. She mishandles it, has to retreat to get it back. Played safely off the boards and gets it out of the Avro zone. As Boy looks to go for a skate. Boy looking to go through the whole team. Still holds on to it as number 12. As she finally, well, not finally, but unfortunately takes a little spill into the end boards. Loses her balance. As this goes D to D. It's onto the stick of Fraser. Fraser pulls up, shoots, shot. Blocked and into the corner as the Avros still on it. Flipped out in front. Loose there. Puck covered up by Shell. It was for number 31, Maggie Shell from Yorkton, Saskatchewan. In her final... It's a bit interesting. Saskatchewan-born players, some of them have 2026. I'm getting the grad year confused. We're in 2025, right? But Shell's going to be here for a few more seasons, I guess. She's a 2027 graduate. Born in 2008. So a few more years for number 31 in this league after this. It's for Nolgren down low. Trying to get this puck back. Nolgren does just that. Tries to feed a pass to Foster. That unable to go. Kapusta side of the net. Couldn't whack away at that one. Collins from the point has that blocked. It's Kapusta back on it. Down low. Reverses this behind the back. Number 13. in Foster. Or Folster, sorry. As for the Avros, Collins plays this across to Nolgren, but offside on the play. That pass just made at the blue line. You're watching G-Show Game Day on gshowproductions.uscreen.io. Second period of action here, 16-14 remaining. 98 the shots in favor of Prince Albert as Clement, just before the blue line, sends that in deep to the Avros zone. Cohen out to play it, but a bit of a mishap as the Northern Bears work this to the slot, but taken away just as quickly by this Avros team. Freeze going for a skate. She challenges Marshall, gets in on Marshall on the forecheck, creates a turnover. Number 7 in Lexington Green able to work that free. Now up to the point to Collins. She whips on that, and now it's a turnover. Down in, I believe it's Clarkson, turned aside by Cohen. Number 29's biggest save of the night. She challenges number 19 in Macy Clarkson there and comes away with a huge save. Clarkson taking advantage of misplay at the blue line by Collins. Whiffed on the shot, fanned on it. Clarkson off to the races. Cohen, though, with an even better save on that chance, as this almost towards the Avros net again off of the faceoff. Callie Lavely scoops this up. Lavely tries to make her way past number 15 and Emma Christensen, but not to be, as Jenna Turner now has this on her twig. Turner played up to Green, but out of the reach for number 7, as it's Clement on it for Prince Albert. Christensen along the boards. They're tied up with an Avro before getting loose. This down low all the way to the PA zone. Pass to Christensen, banks this off the boards. She tries to send a teammate, but not to be for Hildebrand, as that was cut off. Puck still outside of the Avro zone, or the PA zone, Prince Albert zone, as now it is sent into the Avros end of the ice. Played up. Now picked up by Robin Clausen as Clausen tries to chase this down. Clausen, heavy forecheck there, almost forces a turnover, but Prince Albert able to make it out successfully. It's number 6 in Tran, tries to dangle through. She does just that. Tran scores! Maybe the goal of the tournament so far, as Tran does it all herself, end to end. Ties this game at 1 apiece. That goal brought to you by Movement, Fitness, and Performance. What an effort there from number 6, Olivia Tran. A 2009 born forward has her Northern Bears back even in this one. In a game where for Prince Albert, they've had a lot of good chances, using their speed, attacking off the rush, and that time Tran able to slither her way through the Avros defense, going end to end. Finish off a highlight reel goal, putting it past Cohen. As how does Winnipeg respond with just under 14 minutes to go in this period now, is down for an icing. Face-off will be to the glove hand side of Cohen. Draw won by Prince Albert. That shot just wide of the net as Davidge gets this down low. The Northern Bears trying to maintain possession. Christensen loses an edge. No call on the play. It looked like maybe it could have been a trip, but very marginal. Happy the refs did let it go as Clarkson gets this to the point. Up top, that shot might have just grazed the pad of Cohen, not too sure. Ended up off the backboards anyways, into the corner as Christensen goes to work against Nolgren. Avros captain tied her up. That shot out in front, saved by Cohen. we get another face-off in the Avros zone. Draw, tie up once again. Both teams trying to search for it. Northern Bears almost get it, but it'll be Lavalley who got possession of it. Down low, battling the Avros. 2 players there and 2 Northern Bears. It's Jersey Anderson joining the mix. Marshall keeps this down low as she won her battle along the close boards to our broadcast angle. Turnover trying to be forced now down low. A tripping penalty. No, not coming up. Northern Bear just losing an edge. Rebound there off the post. As number 9, so close, and Andy Marshall. Another shot. Cohen Howen makes a big save. Hildebrand tried to swing that back to the slot, but taken away by the Avros. Cleared just into the Northern Bears zone before they get it out just as fast. Jersey Anderson takes a clap bomb. That shot ends up being partially blocked by Collins, which forced it to go wide. Lavalley, that pass intended for Brooklyn Freeze, or Brooke Freeze. We got a whistle, a stoppage on the play. Face off just outside of the Avro zone. Won cleanly this time by the Northern Bears. Good forecheck right afterwards by Dinez. As it's played in now for this Prince Albert Northern Bears squad. Taken away by Cockrell, though, as Nev Cockrell looks to skate this up just before the blue line sends this in deep off the backboard. It's a funny bounce. Ends up going right into the glove of Maggie Schell. Face-off will be to the blocker hand side of Shell. Straw won by the Avers, this time cleanly for them. As Turner flips this down the left side, down low, that gets to Seawalk. Seawalk tied up, but got that puck loose to Dinez. Dinez to Turner. Back to Dinez, but off the mark was Turner with that short pass. Sits into the furthest corner from our broadcast angle right now as we try to zoom in. That shot kicked away by Shell. Another chance in tight. The side of the net. Shell, however, smothers that up right away. We'll get another stoppage in the play. Another face-off coming up inside of the Northern Bears zone. Let's draw one by the Northern Bears this time, as it's Davidge. Tries to send that up, cut off along the wall, as Marshall was there to contest. Stavage gets it back. Sends that back D to D. As the Northern Bears unsuccessful trying to flip that out. Hildebrand going to battle with, I believe, Folster, as Folster gets this back. Folster surveying options. A little head fake before turning this back down low to Nolgren. Nolgren tries to shield this puck along the boards. Loses an edge as the Northern Bears are able to break this out for PA. Trying to send that towards the net, but Nev Cockrell cuts that off. Well, reversed it to Turner. Turner, a bit of trouble handling this along the boards. Looks like she may get out of it. She does just that as she got it up to Folster, who just chips this out into neutral ice. Northern Bears get set to attack once again, however. As that looked like it almost went out of play for a moment, but we continue on. Looked like that puck ended up into the bench for a split second of the Northern Bears. Is maybe good for the Avros as Lavalley, her shot. Oh, unable to beat Shell on it. Contesting her all the way on defense. Defending that rush. Number 27 in Clement. That cross ice pass off the boards into the Avro zone. It'll be Clarkson who forces the turnover down low as PA trying to get possession of it, but unable to. This will be taken away instead by Lavalley. Chips and goes to herself. Has a teammate with her in Freeze. Slides it over to Freeze, but unable to get a handle on it to take a shot. It's still controlled at the point. The Avros, that shot in. Beatty, save made by Shell. So we'll get another stoppage in play. 9:27 remaining in the second period. So it'll be won by the Avros, but missed pass to the point as chasing this down and turned aside will be by Cohenhowen. Was Claire Fraser, number 10 on defense for the Avros. Now a few goal scorers out there for this Northern Bears team. Tran, along with Wallen, as draw one successfully by the Avros. Nice draw by Seawalk to protect that puck along the boards there with that little move. Tried to cut to the inside, but can't get past the stick of Jersey Anderson. It's to Wallen. Has a girl with her, elects to shoot. Nice save by Cohenhowen. As Wallen really didn't have many more options, the Avros took that pass away perfectly. As the Avros transition back up off the skate of Seawalk, but down low it goes. As PA able to break this out with ease, but a bit more trouble breaking into the Avros zone as that ends up on net. PA gets this back on the forecheck into the slot. That shot unable to get really anything on it. So I believe Christensen back to the point. That shot blocked by number 14 and Robin Clausen. Clausen gets closed off by two Northern Bears players. There's four in that area. Only one hanging back is Boy, and right decision for her. She's able to retrieve that puck really fast. A 3-on-2 development here potentially as the Northern Bears send this in deep. Trying to send this back out in front, but contested well by the Avros. Held at the point. That shot ends up to a wide open Marshall, who's denied by Cohenhowen. As Cohenhowen shuts the door. On a chance where her team needed her to be on the top of her game. As number 19, or sorry, number 9 in Marshall, ended up having all the time in the world to shoot that. Let's break down in the Avros defensive coverage. He's able to find some quiet ice and almost made Winnipeg pay. It's just Kapusta looking to add on to her total. What a move! Nifty! Dynamic move by number 9, but denied at the front of the net. Shell up to the task. So close to seeing yet another highlight reel goal in the very same game. Would have been unreal. As this stretched up to Jersey Anderson, looking to go inside outside herself, but shutting that down is the veteran defenseman Jenna Turner. Callie Lavallee now trying to break in with some speed, shoots that wide of the net, trying to pick that top right corner. It's the Northern Bears who break in again. Number 9 in Marshall shielding this. Now she'll protect with the forehand. Marshall nifty moves before sending this back up to a point girl. Didn't like what she saw there was Siklenka, so she just sent it down low. Siklenka gets it right back, goes to the same spot, but this time the Avros ready for it. Cut it off. This will be whipped cross ice, attempted to at least by Freeze, picked up by Fraser. As Fraser just before the blue line sends that in deep to the Northern Bears. And looking to go for a skate now, though, is Clement. As Clement makes her way past Inez. Only Collins to beat. Just kidding. Cohenhowen as she makes a beautiful save. It's number 29 on her toes there. Turning into a bit of a track meet. Both teams going back and forth as Lavallee can't make the finesse move past the PA defenseman. Shut down instead. As the Northern Bears turn this over to Leah Clausen. Feeds this up to Robin Clausen. Has Dinez and Seawalk with her. Takes a high shot instead. It gets blockered out of play. With 5:46 remaining in a 2-2 hockey game. Robin Clausen take the draw against Wallen. Clausen is up winning it. Northern Bears almost get it right back though. It sends up back in the glove in the crease of Shell. By the way, thank you so much to everyone that's tuning into this matchup tonight or whenever you may be tuning into it. If you purchased the Caps bundle or have already purchased this game before. As that shot high of the net, wide of it, occupied by Cohenhowen. As it's Kapusta dragging this puck through with her body as that shot ends up off the blocker of Shell. Turned aside into the corner. As both teams battling away. The Northern Bears defending the Avros forecheck. They do it well. Risky but effective cut in front of the net by Boya. She makes her way in now towards the Avros net. Boya still protecting this puck. She's long aboards. Sent behind the net as the Northern Bears continue to keep it to the outside. Connecting now. Feeds this to the bottom of the right face-off circle as that shot from her teammate wide of the net. It's number 9 and Andy Marshall who took it. Or sorry, number 8 in Leah Mitchell. As Davidge works down the left side towards the front of the net. Cut off well there. That pass by Turner. As Robin Clausen got to look out. Almost danger with that pass in the middle, but Dinez able to recover well. Sends that to Jenna Turner. Turner will send that into her own bench. With 4:10 remaining in the second period of action. Brought to you by Elite Prospects, your most informative website for hockey player databases on the internet. Sure to check them out at eliteprospects.com for more information. Except, I'm sure you already know what Elite Prospects is all about. Thank you to them for supporting us for this showcase this weekend and throughout the upcoming 2025-2026 season. As Beatty sends that wide of the net. She shot from a distance. It's Robin Clausen along the boards down low. Catches up to this puck as Clausen wheels around the PA zone. Got that to a teammate. It ends up being intercepted. Ends up back out as Collins has to send this in deep again. Shell came out of her own net to leave that for a teammate. The Northern Bears look to break up. It's onto the stick of Clarkson. Clarkson can't keep a handle on that puck as it's taken away by Leah Clausen to Seawalk. And that pass, a bad one, as it's turned over to Marshall. Clarkson shot through a bit of a screen. Dare I even say she used her teammate as a screen there, trying to shoot through Marshall. Trying to fool Cohenhowen, but not to be that time. 20th shot of the night faced by number 29. So we'll get a face-off to the blocker hand side of Cohenhowen. It's up to Lexington Green. Green reverses this up the wall, but a bad turnover there for this Avros group as the defensive details a bit sloppy here in the latter half of this period as that shot turned aside by Shell. So we got a face-off with 2:38 remaining to the blocker hand side of Shell. Draw one by the Avros. It'll be Leah Clausen who gets that to Lexington Green. Green, nice move from number 7, but can't get that shot through as it's blocked up by a Northern Bears shin pad. Trying to flip this out now as PA gets to Jersey Anderson. That'll be Sikalenka as her shot denied by Cohenhowen. Rebound not left there as well. And sorry, that's Rain Sikalenka that ended up having that shot as Rain will stay out there. Cohenhowen with a nice save on that chance from number 14 for the Northern Bears. So it'll be Nolgren to take the draw against Wallen, won by the Avros captain. As it'll be Jenna Turner who takes this into her own hands. Has to be careful, though, as she tries to play it to safety to her teammate as she was getting pressured. This into center ice. Marshall cut that off. Marshall protects. Tries to send that up. That's Mitchell, who gets rubbed out, actually, not Marshall. That pass to Folster. Unable to connect as Nolgren back in the corner reverses this to Folster, but Folster gets cut off. It'll be Tran who touches this out. Mitchell giving chase, trying to pick the pocket of Nev Cockrell, but unable to. And Mitchell, well, she gets it back. What will she do with it this time? Sends it towards the net as Tran unable to find it. She was covered up well. That pass contested well. Boy, her long shot turned aside by Cohen-Howen with 1:20 remaining in this period. Zone still held by the Northern Bears. Robin Clausen taken out, taken down. So we're going to see a penalty coming up with 1:09 remaining in the second period of action. The Avros getting rewarded for the first time in this game with the power play. And maybe what they potentially need if you have a really good sequence to push momentum your way, because the Northern Bears right now 22-13 in shots. It's a tie game. They're playing with a lot of speed and not giving the Avros much room, especially when PA's been on the forecheck. But this power play brought to you by Movement, Fitness, and Performance. Loose puck there, sprawling out to make the save is Shell. Scary signs there for a minute. The internet just went all the way down here at Stride Place. It's been running well all day. Sorry if you got any lag there at all, female hockey league fans, as that shot turned aside by Shell. We're going to see if we can up our internet connection here coming up soon, but 31.6 seconds remain in this period, as Adeline Nolgren ends up winning this draw. Up 1-2 Collins, played it to Leah Clausen as that shot unable to get through, is blocked up. Kapusta, top of the left face-off circle, can't feed that through, blocked up well by Clement. The Avros get it back. It's Nolgren, walks to the slot, scores! Giving the Northern Bears a taste of their own medicine, as they ended up cutting into the lead at 2-1, scoring for the first time down 2-0 with under 20 seconds left in that first period. While the Avros, in a tie game, they end up putting themselves up 3-2 on a power play marker with just over 10 seconds remaining in the second period. That goal brought to you by Movement, Performance, and Fitness. Or Movement, Fitness, and Performance. As the Winnipeg Avros, their captain, Adeline Nolgren, not sure if she scored it cleanly. And yes, she did. It's announced right now. Folster and Kapusta with the assist on the goal, as it's the Avros who regain the lead here. They'll carry a one-goal lead heading into the final 20 minutes of action here on day one of the Central Plains Capital Showcase. As we're now 22-17 in the shot totals for Prince Albert. Movement, Fitness, and Performance, one of our sponsors for that second period of action, as well as Elite Prospects, the most informative hockey player database on the web. Be sure to check it out today at eliteprospects.com. Final period of the day and tonight coming up next here from Stride Place Arena in Portage la Prairie, Manitoba. Thanks again so much, everybody, for tuning in so far. Last 20 miles coming up next in this one. And welcome back in to what's about to be the final period of day one of the 2025 Central Plains Capitals Showcase live from Portage La Prairie, Manitoba. This game been brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Terrico is coming up next as a sponsor for this third period. We've also been brought to you by Movement, Fitness and Performance, and Elite Prospects. Thank you to all of those brands for supporting us and supporting our coverage of female hockey here on our G-Show Productions U-Screen service and on our network in general. 3-2 in favor of the Avros heading into the third period. Shots are 22-17 in favor of the Northern Bears. For PA, I felt like aside from that power play goal they give up in the dying seconds where the Avros ended up going from 13 shots all the way to 17 after that, I thought that Prince Albert had the stronger period. Thought that they were creating a lot of turnovers with their speed and their aggression. Created some good looks and some havoc in front of the Avros net. And did a really good job of being able to, even going back to that first period, I know it was a power play goal, but finding ways to get to open ice against the Avros and trying to expose that. But for Winnipeg, they've done a good job for the most part of holding their own in their own end. Colin Howen, their goaltender, number 29, aside from maybe that last goal she would have wanted to have back, I think she's played pretty solid in this one. She's made 20 saves on 22 shots against so far here tonight. Of course, our final game of the day today. So give you a quick little sneak peek of what is on tap tomorrow as both these teams make their way back out onto the ice. We got 6 games on the schedule tomorrow, all starting in terms of our coverage at 8:15 a.m. with Avros Lightning. The Avros trying to join Interlake with one of the teams being 1-0 after day one, even though the records don't count. Interlake, Westman, Pembina Valley, all grabbing wins today. Not sure about Weyburn and Winnipeg. That can be found, all the scores, by the way, on Central Plains FemaleCapitals.com, where you can also see this schedule there too. But for both of these teams, looking like they're about ready to get going here for the third and final period of action. Cohen Howland's ready for the Avros, Shell's ready for the Bears, and we are off for this third period, brought to you by Terrico, serving Manitoba producers in the agricultural industry for over 80 years. Sure to find out why they're so trusted at terrico.ca. As for Winnipeg, a draw pass there sent right back down deep into the corner, but that not successful for Winnipeg as Prince Albert gets possession of it back. It's work D, but unable to work it up. There was Marshall getting in the lane, was Folster. The Avros, a bit of jump in their step to start off this third period of action. Will be taken away by Prince Albert as the Northern Bears looking to walk in as that unable to be a chance on net for Prince Albert. And Sinklenka played that up to Tran as Olivia Tran called offside on the play. And by the way, it's the first goal, not the second goal, that I think could Cohen-Howen would want back, because, yeah, if you go back and look at the second goal scored by Prince Albert, it was a highlight reel beauty, courtesy of Olivia Tran, who takes a shot on net, low turned aside by Cohen-Howen. But, yeah, Tran basically walked through the whole Winnipeg Avros team going end to end. Some nifty moves before putting it in the back of the net past Cohen-Howen as Clement sends this down deep. That into the skates of Jersey Anderson. Anderson tries spinning away, but her pass off the mark. She tried to feed that to the slot. It's cut off by the Avros. Lexington Green takes a tumble, but gets this out successfully nonetheless, as Siklanka gets pressured there by Lavely. Lavely back on it, trying to settle down this bobbling puck, but unable to. Allows for Siklanka to cut her off. Beautiful move by Marshall, as Annie Marshall making her way in. Has a teammate with her, but a draw pass off the mark into the skates of Jersey Anderson instead of on her stick, as it allows for the Avros to break in. Nifty move. That shot turned aside as it got onto the stick of Lavely, but Shell had all the answers at the side of the net there to cover things up. 17:34 remaining in this period. Robin Clausen won the draw to the boards, but not cleanly, as the Northern Bears on possession of it. As for Kelsey Dinez, tries getting it to the slot, but unable to locate Robin Clausen, as Fraser unable to hold the line. Number 10 for this Avros squad. That nice job by the Avros to get a stick in the lane. This all the way down into the Northern Bears zone. Shell out of her own crease to play that. As, yeah, just checking in on our internet connection. Apologies about the lag. As Shell, no apologies on that save. Beautiful. Sticking out that arm to deny Lavely. As line change, fresh legs out for PA as they take this away off of line change. Siklanka to Clarkson. Her shot covered up. Glove down by Cohen-Howen. In this third period of action. It's Marshall to take the draw. Ends up getting it to Anderson. Whacking away at it was Clarkson, but nice save again by Cohen-Howen in tight. Ever since that first goal she let in, he's been really good on all shots that have been put up on her. Freeze. She'll go for a skate. Plays this up to Cockrell, back to Freeze, her shot, rebound there as the puck is loose, still not covered up. Oh, clutch stick in front by the Northern Bears to clear this out. It will be an icing. But anything you can do to survive, you're going to do it there. In that instance, that's exactly what the Northern Bears do. It's a shot that doesn't get through on net. It hits a body at first. Shell sprawled out of position. The Avros almost able to find that loose puck, but luckily, Northern Bears with good defense in front to eliminate that chance. As they do get it into the neutral ice, sent right back down by the Avros. Clement first one on it, plays that across to Sick Lenka. As all the way down Emily Beattie on it, being pressured by Jersey Anderson. Andy Marshall also approaching as Anderson ends up forcing the turnover. Marshall along the wall gets this up to the point to Clement. Clement decides to shoot instead of passing D to D. Finds the glove of Cohen Howen. So we get a stoppage in play. "14 minutes exactly left. The draw inside the Avro zone. Won by the Northern Bears, but that picked off by Emily Beattie in the face-off circles, so ends up being the Avros face-off win. D it goes to Fraser. Fraser looking to go for a skate. Has Denez with her, almost lost it in her skates as she carries it in deep to the Prince Albert zone. The Northern Bears looking to defend and get this out. That's exactly what they do. Hildebrand flipped a pass up, but into the skates of a teammate who couldn't cradle it. Hildebrand still continuing on the pressure. This ends up forcing the puck down low into the Avro zone. The Avros looking to break out, and they do just that. Robin Clausen just before the blue line has that blocked by a Northern Bear, not allowing her to get it in deep. As bad pass intercepted. Fulster turned aside by Shell. A big save by number 31. So this still in the Prince Albert zone. It's good pressure from the Avros. Nolgren trying to chase that puck down, but first one on it, number 20 in Simonson. As this gets to Boy. Boy off the boards. That pass off the mark, but no icing on the play. So Leah Clausen ends up getting to it. First turned it over. Andy Marshall protects along the boards. Backhand pass up to Davidge. Davidge can't get that shot through. Blocked up by the captain and Nolgren. Already with a goal in this game, being the most important one for the captain. The game winner as it currently stands. She scored the 3-2 goal for the Avros. The end of that second period. It's Freeze with this puck. Now plays that out in front, but not ready for it was Lavalley. So covered well there in the slot. The Northern Bears. And apologies for this lag. We got all systems working right now, but we're just going to have to get through this one together with a bit of lag. At Stride Place Arena, Wi-Fi's been great all day long, to the very end of it, of course. Let's just work towards the Avros line. It's now in. Northern Bears towards the net. That shot turned aside by Cohenhowen. Kicked far enough. No one could do anything with it on the Northern Bears. Along the wall, the Avros get possession of this. They look to go for a skate. It goes D to Fraser. Can't get that out, though, as it's still a chance for the Northern Bears to work something in the Avro zone offensively. As this flip to the slot, pickpocketed as an Avro. Beautiful save by Cohenhowen on Jersey Anderson to deny her as she tried to pull that to the backhand, but not good enough to get it past the skate of number 29. That right into the crest, the breadbasket. The stomach of Maggie Shell. Dangerous moments ago in the Avro zone there. A puck that gets flipped into the slot, hops over an Avros player's stick, and not only that, but a great job by Anderson in those small areas. Effective stick use. Able to give a little lift of the stick to create that chance for her where just didn't have enough finish to put that over Cohenhowen. With 10:20 remaining in this period. The Avros who work at D2D trying to get a breakout going along the boards to Kelsey Dinez. Dinez circles back before sending this cross ice off the stick of number 21 and Seawalk, who almost is able to split through the D but got shut down right at the line. The Northern Bears make it back into the Avros zone, taking a tumble. Number 6 in Tran. The team would love her to step up big time in this period. She had a highlight reel goal early on in this one. Well, not super early on, but in the second period. As this left for Siklenka, she looks to go for a skate. Folster looked to challenge her, getting a stick in the lane as Nolgren has a wide open teammate in Kapusta, but oh, that just behind. The execution just not there. The Avros having the right idea. Kapusta unable to get a shot on net there. It ends up out of play. It's deflected out of play off a stick. It's just after 9 o'clock here. Just over 9 minutes left in this Friday night game on the game clock. Fitting how that is, isn't it? As the Avros search for this puck, so does Prince Albert as they're able to get it out. Christensen took a bump before she did so. Unloading that pass cross ice. So it'll be to Davidge. She tries to cut inside, outside, couldn't get past Lavalley as her and Green. Good stick work there at the PA blue line. Nev Cockrell taking a bit of the beats from a PA forechecker, but able to get it out. It's to Boy. Boy has to be careful here. Lavalley lurking as it's played D2D. Simonson fending off the Avros pressure and gets it successfully to her D partner, who sends this all the way down for an icing. As the pressure from this Avros group, definitely feel it more in this period for some reason. I feel like this has arguably been the Avros' most complete period of the night so far. They do, of course, have a 3-2 lead here. And for last year's MFHL finalists, looking for some bragging rights to close out day number 1 of this year's showcase. Always great if you're a Manitoban team able to beat a Saskatchewan team. I mean, that rivalry, it's for sports fans here in the province of Manitoba, especially for people who love the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They know the rivalry all too well between the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I know that's a totally different sport, but Saskatchewan, Manitoba, heated rivalries in a lot of sports whenever they're able to compete against each other. Although this game hasn't been heated tonight. Very fast pace, a lot of good skill on display. Both teams putting on a show. To end off day 1 as we wrap up our coverage here. After this game, stay tuned for a bit of a post-game show. Won't be super long. We won't keep you here too long, folks, but we'll kind of just go through the whole day, the vibes, what it was like, etc. But as for the Winnipeg Avros, holding on to a 1-goal lead right now. The Northern Bears looking to answer back with a tying goal, but a glove save on the shot put on by Siklenka. And for number 29 for this Avros squad, and Cohenhowen been up to the task on so many occasions tonight. as this intercepted. PA tried getting it to the point, but were unable to. And now they recover it back in the neutral ice. Send it all the way back down into the Avro zone. Trying to shield the puck. It's number 6 in Collins, had it knocked off her stick. It's down low for Olivia Tran. Number 6 for this Northern Bears squad has that poked away as Kapusta tries to drag it up the boards, but unable to get past Clement. It's for Adeline Nolgren. Her pass up the boards, unable to go. As it's PA trying to get in on net in tight, but no shot registered. As it's the Avros who break out. Kapusta heading towards the net. Folster takes the shot instead. Nice rebound control by Shell. Giving up nothing there for the Avros to do much with. Lavely, she walks in. Another nice save by Shell. A great look from Lavely. Now it's the Northern Bears going down the other way, but shut down was number 6 in Tran by Jenna Turner. Allows for Lavely to walk into the middle. Lavely, a blocker save made. Rebound almost gets it off the backboards. As play continues here. Avros still up by 1, trailing by only 4 in the shot totals now. Let's see what type of answer the Northern Bears have here on the rush. That shot blocked. Another great defensive play by the Avros defending the attack of the Northern Bears. So it was Freeze who ended up getting in the lane there. Actually might have been Nev Cockerell. She plays a D to Jenna Turner just before the blue line. Sends this in deep and heads off for a change herself. As this pass to the middle connects onto the stick of Clarkson. Can't complete the move, though, as it ends up trickling into the crease on that one-touch dangle attempt. As Cohen-Howen holds on to it. Marshall tied up on that draw with Clausen. Rebound there. Cohen-Howen just able to cover it. The Northern Bears trying to will their way to the front of their net to put a goal in. Trying to out-muscle the Avros in front, but the Avros defense doing a good job of holding their ground. Draw will be one towards the boards. Number 4 in Beatty. Now chipped up to herself as Folster has Kapusta heading to the net. Kapusta can't put it in. Pass was a bit behind her. Puck covered up too by Shell. Afterwards, a good defensive coverage. Taking away what could have been a perfect pass. Forced Folster to try to thread it to Kapusta, and Kapusta really impressed. She's able to kick that to her stick and send it on net. Chance for the Avros. Another chance. Folster can't send it through. So this time it's blocked up. Anderson can't connect with a teammate in Siklenka. It's this back down into the Avro zone now as Beatty reverses it. Looking like she carried around her own net. As this turnover, Avros now looking to defend this, and they do it so well. In front of it was Tran looking to capitalize, looking to tie this game up. Same with Clement. But Cohen-Howen says, no way. Glove save made. We got another stoppage with 4:11 left in this one. This third period brought to you by Terrico. Serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry. Down low, Collins, her pass, can't go. This is cut off by Prince Albert. Kelsey Donez, her pass intended towards the middle of the ice, intercepted as well. Tran can't dangle her way past Clausen. Nice defensive stick there from 16. She dishes this across to Seawalk. Seawalk, muscle out by Clements along the boards, but Leah Clausen there for good support. Down low to Seawalk, can't fire that on net. So got blocked as she tried to unload it in front. Tran takes this away, sends a pass cross ice to Wallen. So that's sent right back into the PA zone past number 16. Is PA looking to work this up. Northern Bears up to Wallen. Gets stood up right at the red line there by Lavalley as Lavalley continues on the forecheck. Finally loses an edge. It stays out there. As for Winnipeg, trying to chip this out, and they do just that. Reed loses an edge, and this may allow for the Avros to attack with numbers the other way. A 3-on-3 right now as that ends up into the crease of Shell and covered up by number 31. Straw won by the Avros again. Turner, her shot tipped on the way through. Kicking out that right pad was Shell. As the Avros just content with keeping this in the Northern Bears zone. A nice shot on net. A backhand from Turner turned aside again by Shell. The shot's 32-29. Out of all the great action we've seen here tonight and throughout the day, this might be the most fast-paced game we've seen so far. It's been a close one. I mean, really, all the games have been close except for Westman and Yellowhead. Yellowhead looking for a big bounce back tomorrow. It's great to see pretty even playing field on day one in terms of the results. And depending on what happens in this one, it could be a win for the Avros. Almost so close to giving that lead up as I believe that shot grazed off the post. Another dangerous chance for PA in the slot. Another one here from the point, kicking out to make the save as Cohen-Howen is out of position on the rebound. Luckily, no rebound was there to be shot on net by the Northern Bears. Maybe here for Jersey Anderson, can't get that through. The Avros clog up the lanes, the shooting lanes for Prince Albert, as this called at the line for an offside. The Northern Bears just, from the Avros point of view, I'm sure they feel like a bunch of pests. They just won't go away. They continue to pressure the Avros, and their good stick work and pressure is allowing for those chances we're seeing inside the Avros' high-dangered areas in their zone. As that check into the boards, no call here. As the referee's letting them play. 1:20 remaining in this contest. As for the Northern Bears, we saw Pilot Mount Hockey Academy tie the game against Central Plains down 3-2 with under 20 seconds to go in that third period. Do we see something similar here tonight? As the Avros look to hold on, heading into the final minute of play. That a high shot. Going to be a high stick called as well. Waved off as the Avros touch it. It's going to be against the Northern Bears. We're still at 5-on-5. The Avros unable to get that towards the net as Clement, the good defensive stick to shut down Kapusta. Goalie still not being called towards the Prince Albert Northern Bears bench in Shell. Is Maggie Shell still in her crease? Maybe their coach is waiting for optimal possession of the puck, but the Avros, they're not going to let that happen. 22 seconds remain in this final game, game number 6 of day 1 of the 3-day Central Plains Capital Showcase. 13 seconds now as the puck along the boards in the Avros zone. Can't get it loose. Now PA does. That to the point. Clarkson, her shot, unable to make it through cleanly. Maybe another chance, but that shot was taken at the end. Doesn't end up going through. It's a 3-2 final for the Avros as they survive it here to take their first game of this preseason showcase. Shots 33-29 in favor of the Winnipeg Avros, or in favor of the Prince Albert Northern Bears. The Avros just with 4 last shots. A really strong third period from them. Held their ground at the end when the Northern Bears were throwing a bunch of stuff at them, a bunch of pressure. Maybe a few lucky on some of the bounces tonight, but hey, they created their own luck with a solid game that Ashley Van Agelen's squad opens up with this weekend. Her captain, Alan Nolgren, also ends up scoring the game winner. The team captain was involved in a lot of the action tonight. Player that I think Winnipeg is really excited about to have back this year. And they're feeling like there's no better player to lead them as their captain this year. But this third period was brought to you by Terrico. Terrico.ca is where you can find their website. Be sure to check them out. Serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry. I think the problem with the Wi-Fi has just been working all day, so we're going to be sure to reset that before we're back here tomorrow for day 2 of the Central Plains Capital Showcase. It starts off with Avros versus Lightning, so we'll see Winnipeg shortly here again over the next 10 hours. Eastman back in action tomorrow morning against the Winnipeg Ice. Pembina Valley and Weyburn, so we got to look at another Saskatchewan team coming up. Westman, Central Plains, Ice, Northern Bears, we'll see this PA team in action again, and then the Gold Wings end off playing 2 games tomorrow, going up against the Eastman Selects. Only 3 games for you on day 3, but as for this day today, day number 1, what else can you really ask for as a fan of this sport? A tie in there, 2 one-goal games, a few comebacks. Yes, dominant performance from Westman on the scoreboard, really the only team that ran away with it. What I'm liking here is just these teams have come out with a lot of energy in some of these instances, in some of these games. These teams are working hard, seeing a lot of good defensive work too, like defending against the rush. And then we're seeing a lot of standout players. Ivy Perkin, to me, her performance, probably one of the biggest takeaways from today is how great it was. For Central Plains, I think a player that really stood out today too was number 17 in Linz. She was all over it in the first game, just a bit snake-bitten, and finally got rewarded with some points in that second matchup against Pilot Mound. And I guess what I love to see too is, the teams that have come back, and Pilot Mound, for instance, that was down 3-1 heading into that third period and scored 2 unanswered to end up tying it. That tying goal ended up happening in the last 16 seconds. To see the fight and compete from these teams, and the regular season hasn't even started, it's been really fun to see, and fun to see the parity in these games, knowing that, hey, you got to play consistently if you want to give your best chance to win no matter what time of the year it is. And I think that prime example of that is just looking at Pembina Valley and Pilot Mound, how they're able to come back in their matchups being down. And same with the Interlake Lightning, who I felt in that first game of the day took a while to get going in their game, but once they did, they looked strong in a lot of aspects of their game. And of course, for the top end teams, that ended up struggling today, Eastman, maybe one of the most shocking losses of the day, given how strongly they've been playing in the preseason. They've had preseason showcases and maybe a bit more miles, tread under their tires than some teams coming in. But yeah, I think just seeing the execution out there from Eastman, from a team that executed probably the best out of any team in the MFHL last year, was surprising to see. But it's another reminder that, hey, this is the preseason. And especially now more than ever, anything can happen in terms of these results. It's a great weekend to be able to see what type of talent is out there. Great for college scouts in general, anyone who's checking out these players to see this talent on full display, because there are some of the best players from around the province and from around Western Canada and AAA playing each other this weekend, and we're really proud to be a part of it this weekend in Stride Place in Portage La Prairie. It's been a long day, female hockey league fans, and that's going to conclude our coverage for day 1. 5 games in the book. We got 9 more to go. 6 games coming to you tomorrow on the network on gshowproductions.uscreen.io. As mentioned already, we start off with Avros Lightning. 8:15 p.m. will be the puck drop. No pregame show to open up the first broadcast. That will come before Eastman and the Ice. The Eastman Select's taking on the Winnipeg Ice at 10:30 a.m. since 8:15, just a tad too early. We just want to get the broadcast out to you all. For myself, Graham, the G Show, Forsyth, I'll remind you once again that if you did purchase this game live, as only a single game purchase, you only get the live event for now. We're going to make this game available afterwards, but it does say you have to pay again. What I'm going to do, I might not get it sorted out tonight, but I'm going to try to. But by the end of this weekend, of course, if you did end up purchasing this game as just a single game event, we'll be sure to lend you some access to it so you don't have to pay again. But thank you to everyone who tuned in today. Your support, really appreciated. We couldn't do it without you. And we can't wait to see what day number 2 brings tomorrow. As day number 1 in the books here, 2025 Central Plains Capital Showcase on gshowproductions.uscreen.io. Thank you to Elite Prospects, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Terrico and Movement, Fitness and Performance for sponsoring today's games, and they'll continue to throughout this whole weekend. The Avros end off day 1 with a 3-2 win in their opening game against the Saskatchewan Female Hockey League's Prince Albert Northern Bears. Good night, everybody. Take care. Thank you for watching.